I don't wanna wake up and let my dreams die. This moment I'll make it mine. Don't tell me I'm wasting time. I'll show you what I'm made of and give my dreams life. I'll put it all on the line, just like I'm young, wild and alive.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? My name is Carter Hall. Welcome to another episode of the What Really Happened podcast. My guest really doesn't need an introduction, if I could speak right, but clearly I think he does need one because he's how cool he is. His name is Jaren Alvarado. You know, I met this guy at CrossFit 806. He's been he's done a lot of amazing things, you know, from football and going to CrossFit, done a lot of amazing, great things. Jaren, thanks for coming on the podcast, man, and thank you for taking some time out.
Heck yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So I was want to ask, I always ask this because I'm kind of getting into CrossFit for the podcast. So any person who gets into CrossFit, I just want to ask, or gets on the podcast rather. So it's how did you get into CrossFit?
So let's see, probably 2015 or 2016. I heard I saw either a social media post or heard something on the radio or the news or something about CrossFit 806 and Mission 2540 that were hosting a big event sometime in either the summertime or early in the year, whatever that was. And they were bringing down CrossFit Mayhem down from Tennessee. You know, that's Rich Froning. At that point, it was Darren Hunsucker, which is Rich Froning's cousin. And me and one of my good buddies at the time, we just kind of started working out. You know, we were working out in his garage, and we just heard about this. You know, then we started looking him up, kind of see what he did. And my kind of first experience seeing CrossFit was going to watch that competition, which is it's either 2015 or 2016, so sometime when I was in high school. And yeah, so we went and watched that competition, kind of saw all of what they were doing, and it was just mind-blowing about all the fitness they were getting done within this short amount of time. And then from that point, started dabbling into it a little bit. Went to that gym, which CrossFit 806, same one. Got like a 8-time-a-month membership, maybe used like one of those in the month. I wasn't super structured. I just kind of went when I had time. I still was in high school, so I was real busy with all that stuff. But so that point is kind of when I initially started getting into CrossFit, kind of seeing it, watching, following people on social media, looking up YouTube videos. And then probably a year later after that, maybe late 2016, early 2017, is when I really got into it. Got like the full-time unlimited membership, started getting in there. I had a decent, strength base because I was a football athlete in high school and wrestling in high school. And so I kind of knew what I was doing, but I didn't really know what I was doing. But the coaches at that time were great. They kind of helped me transition into that kind of fitness level. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then from there, from 2017, kind of till now. So we're here now.
Oh, wow. So you've been in it for a minute, it sounds like.
Yeah. So on and off. So yeah, obviously, yeah, I started in I guess 2017 would be kind of the first official year. And then when I left to Oklahoma City, which is where I went to college for 4.5 years, in 2019, I think within a span of 4.5 years, I might have done 3 CrossFit workouts. So I took a huge break. Maybe in the summers, maybe a little more than 3, but took a big break, kind of mainly used it to before and then kind of after football. But yeah, but as far as following and kind of knowing and keeping up with everything since about 2017.
Oh, nice. And you mentioned something that kind of seemed interesting too, because so you're doing CrossFit now, but you had an athletic background, as you mentioned, from high school and college. You played football and things of that nature, but was football always something you did since day one, or how did you get into that?
Yeah, so when I was a kid, my dad has pictures and videos of me like as a toddler, picking up the football, playing catch in the front yard, backyard, whatever that is. And ever since the day I could walk, I was playing flag football. My best friend, or one of my best friends, my cousin now. He's exactly 6 months older than me. Him and I were same age, pretty much. So we played, the Kids Inc. flag football. Then we transferred into W2YFL, 5th grade, our first year tackle. So all the way from probably 1st grade until he moved to a different high school his freshman year. We were playing football together. We were doing tournaments every other weekend. We were playing Kids Inc. We were doing tackle football together. And then really cool story about that, actually. He ended up going to Cap Rock. I was in Bushland. And then that whole time we'd played together for 15 years. And then our senior year, Bushland was actually scheduled to play Cap Rock. And he was the quarterback. I was the linebacker. So we got to play against each other. We had family come down from Arizona, South Texas. Everyone had split shirts of Cap Rock and Bushland. And it was a really cool deal because we grew up for 15 years together playing, being together all the time. And then we got to play against each other. So, but yeah, been a football athlete. It's kind of been my favorite sport. I dabbled into, a little bit of track and field, a little bit of wrestling, kind of to train for football. That was the main focus. But yeah, since day one, since I could remember, I was picking up a football and playing, and it kind of took me to the next level. So that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know you did other sports too. I thought you were just a football guy, like just playing all through.
Yeah, I did wrestling a little bit in high school, did the track workouts. I never competed in track. I'm not fast. So I just did the workouts to train for football, similar to kind of why I did CrossFit, same thing. So, but yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
So were you strictly you said you went to Bushland High School, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So shout out to Falcons. So
Go Falcons, baby.
So shout out. So were you strictly like through your high school career and college career, were you strictly a linebacker, or was that your position? Were you a defensive guy?
So in high school, actually in high school, throughout freshman through senior year on offensive side of the ball, I actually played offensive line. I was a 205-pound center, which is extremely, extremely small. I was used. It's a weird thing. They usually, the guards pull on certain counter plays or screen plays, but they would actually have me pull as the center because I was a little bit quicker than all the linemen. I was not small. I was smaller than the other linemen. So offensive side of the ball, I did play center. That wasn't my main position. My main position in high school was Mike linebacker, middle linebacker. And then transitioning into college, I went in as a linebacker. When I got there might have been 15, 16, 17 linebackers. And then I was told that on offensive side of the ball, tight ends were there was only 2 or 3. So after a few weeks, maybe a few months of practicing as a linebacker in college, I actually got transferred or moved over to the offensive side of the ball and played tight end for the remainder of my 4.5 years. So never played tight end in my life. Kind of had to pick up all those skills and techniques, but it ended up working really, really well. So enjoyed that quite a bit. But I got to take hits instead of give hits. So it was a little bit different. But yeah, so not always linebacker, but majority linebacker. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty dope, man. So where'd you go? So you mentioned you went to Bushland and played football there and wrestled and track and all that. But where'd you go to college to play football?
So I went to Southern Nazarene University, which is a Division II school in Oklahoma City, or Bethany, Oklahoma, which is just right side of Oklahoma City, about 3.5 hours away, just straight east. Little small town right outside Oklahoma City.
Oh, heck yeah, that's pretty cool. So, you played tight end there, right? Is that what you said?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. So, you don't have to call me sir. That's kind of, but I know you gotta go.
Sorry, that's just what I do.
I know you
being an athlete. That's what I say to coaches and everybody. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what.
Yeah, I just felt weird. Like if you want to, you don't have to. But so I was gonna say, so was it like a transition for you at all, going from? You said you played linebacker, going to tight end, going from Amarillo, Texas to Oklahoma City, pretty much like you said. Was it like a big transition for you overall? Like, what was it like? Was this a big factor, or was it just like, okay, let's do this. I'm athletic enough. Let's go. Let's go ball.
Yeah, a lot of that. I was real confident kind of in myself. And it grew over the 4 years that I was in college. I will say at the beginning, not very good at that offensive tight end position. It was a little bit different, footwork, different. I had to block, which I was decent at because I played O-line. So I knew those techniques and drills from that point.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit different. I'd always really had good hands. I could always catch the ball really well. That came from always playing catch with my dad. We used to play a game in our front yard where he would say, it's kind of like a jackpot game. And he'd throw it and he'd like, this catch would be for $5. And if you catch it, yeah, I'd get $5. And then if I drop this one, I lose $5. So we used to play that all the time. And I always ended up catching or dropping the last ball and losing all the money. So I think it was just a plan to get me to learn how to catch, but it worked. So I ended up having really good hands. So that part was kind of easy as far as catching the ball. As far as running routes, I'd never done that. It was a little bit different, obviously from playing defense. But as far as the athletic background, like I said, I was confident enough. I was pretty decent, strong, so I knew what to do. And I knew kind of how defenses ran. So I knew as on the defensive side of the ball, I knew how, cover 2, cover 3 worked. So as transitioning to offense, I kind of knew that already, what I was going to be up against. So that was really helpful. But it was a couple months transition that took a little bit, but I mean, I picked it up pretty quick. It wasn't anything crazy hard. Luckily I was blessed to be athletic enough to be able to do that.
Man, I was just watching you compete in CrossFit, man. You're definitely athletic. I can only imagine what you're like on the football field. I just hearing these stories to listening to you talk. I'm like, dang, just like you said, just going from undersized center to tight end, linebacker, all this different stuff, man. I can only imagine just watching clips, But like you said, like you had that motivating factor with your dad. You either if you caught it, you got $5, or if you dropped it, you got $5. Pretty funny story. That's pretty cool. So
yeah, it was funny.
So going from like that, like going to catch, I bet by the time you got to college, I bet you got more $5 than you lost. I bet it sounds like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So for football and anything like CrossFit, kind of talking about the two, what was your like, what was it going like? What am I trying to say here? I can't think right now. I can't speak.
No, you're good.
But when it came to like how was it going from like a structured sport as football going into CrossFit? Like, what did it help you any? Was there anything that football offered for CrossFit for you?
So yeah, as college athlete, we're running, we're sprinting, we're changing directions, we're lifting, we're throwing, we're doing all kinds of different modalities there. So it really, really did help me, especially on the strength side of CrossFit. Coming into the CrossFit gym, I had a decent strength base. From my freshman year of college to my senior year of college, I gained 40 pounds. So I went from about 205 to about 245. So I will say my endurance and gymnastics as far as CrossFit went way down, but I got really, really strong. And I kind of have the last few months transitioned to really drop a little bit of weight and practice and work on my technique and drills with gymnastics and, handstand walks and stuff like that I didn't do at all for 4.5 years. But I will say for sure that the fact of, sprints, that all out effort for 10 to 15 seconds per play helps a ton with transferring, going over into CrossFit. Like we do, sprints on the skier, sprints on the echo bike, sprints on the rower, or those heavy lifts, heavy power cleans, heavy back squats, those things that take a lot of energy, those really, really hard movements, I had a kind of decent base with. But other than that, as far as long endurance type workouts, 30 plus minutes, or, more technical movements like a toe to bar or a ring muscle up or a handstand push up, took me a little bit of time to kind of transition to and work and move my body to get to that point, but it's still getting better at that. But I was real strong coming into CrossFit, but not very gymnasty, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense. So you had that lifting background from football already. So just coming in helped you even more with that foundation, just going in lifting heavy and kind of like learning everything else. Like, are you like, was there like one movement in particular that like you're like, when you got into CrossFit, you're like, for me, I think, I'm not sure how the whole CrossFit, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I felt like I hate burpees still. I hate the bike, whether if it's sprints or nothing like that, or just endurance. But was there like one movement or multiple movements that you highly disliked when you started and you like still highly dislike now?
I will say there is one. It would be a handstand push-up. I have done them, tried them. Some days they feel great. Some days they don't feel great. There's been times where I'm fatigued there's sets of 10 plus, and I'm starting to come down. I'm even using the ab mat to scale the height a little bit. And I come down, my shoulders are tired, and I crush my head on the mat, and my neck is sore. That's a lot of weight for me to press up overhead. The shoulder pressing movement had always been a struggle for me as far as strength. So handstand push-ups have been a struggle of mine that I've been working on. That would be the one movement I would say that I dislike for sure. Yeah.
So just like be able to like, for me, like I said, I hate just burpees at all, and the bike, whether if it's the C2 bike or the Echo bike, it's no matter what form the bike comes in or just anything like that. I hate. But so they be able to do that. I mean, just like you said, handstand push-ups for you. It feels like watching you, because you coach. We're going to get into you here in a little bit, but just watching you coach or anything, like, because we coach as of this recording. It's Tuesday as of this recording, but Monday, last night, you coached a 6:30 class, and just watching, like, you went over a couple movements. I'm like, just to have like any ability to do any of all right now, I'm like, I wish I could just have a little bit of it, you know? I'm like, because there's one movement you could talk about if you want to. Your hat went flying like 30 feet, it looked like. And like, dang, just to have any strength to do that. I'm like, I can't do any of that right now. Like, I'm tired, buddy. Just, I don't care right now. I just want to get this.
It takes time, man. It takes a lot of time, a lot of practice. It's just one of those things. Got to keep working towards it. So I've spent a lot of time working on those things.
Yeah. Is there a movement? You talk about your least favorite movement. Do you have a favorite movement? Like, heck yeah, I can do these forever, or maybe I can do. Do you have a favorite movement?
I got a few favorite movements. So being a little bit of a taller athlete, a couple of movements come a little bit easier to me. Maybe like wall balls. If I have a good warm up, my hips and ankles and knees are feeling good for that day. I've had a lot of injuries, so it takes me a little bit to get warmed up. But once my wall balls are feeling smooth, I can feel like I can hang on to those for a long time. Or power cleans. Love power cleans. That's probably my favorite Olympic lift. Just because we did them a ton in football. You know, it's a power movement, just like you would use it in football. So I had a lot of strength coming into that on days like in the CrossFit gym that have power cleans. I love it. I'm able to hold on to that bar, get some heavy weights on there. Let's say power cleans, wall balls, and double unders. It took me a while to learn double unders, but now that I've kind of figured that out, I've had them for a while, but getting better and better at them. I can hang on to those for quite a bit as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like, I think for me, like, sorry, go ahead. We're going to say something. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's all I got.
Like last night, like we've been doing like a new cycle about learning double unders. And last night I finally hit my first double under. I was like,
saw that, dude. Yes. I was right there.
And I was surprised anybody saw it. I was like, I hit it.
I was right there. I saw your eyes. They widened. I was like, yep, there, he got one. I knew it. I knew you got it, didn't you? I love doing these little cycles we do. We do the strength cycles, different blocks, different outputs we're looking for. Then everyone, like last one, we did a 1 rep max squat snatch, 1 rep max squat clean. And I think over this 8-week strength cycle, we had over like 40 PRs throughout the gym. So it's like seeing that and people's hard work is, which we'll get into here in a little bit, is just cool just to see that. It's awesome. But yeah, I saw that double under. I saw it. Trust me, I saw it.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, I did it because you said not to do it. I felt like, so we're going to get into this, I imagine, but you said like, try not to donkey kick, whatever. I think it was something along those lines, right? So I felt like I've been doing that. I'm like, how do I straighten this out? And then you said it something like, okay, just keep your feet straight. So I'm like, okay, let's try it. So like it's single, and I did the double under. I'm like, I'm gonna fail it in my head, not fail it. So I'm like effing ain't right, dude. Like I finally went through, you know, like so I was like, I got it. Then I heard you, Jaren. I heard you. I'm like, oh, I'm like, I thought I'm like surprised anybody even saw that.
You're shocked. Yeah, I saw it. I was right there. Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome. And it's only up from there, man. Just keep getting that one at a time. The next time, 2 at a time. You know how it goes.
Yeah. I don't want to make this all about me, but like for you, was it like that or anything like for you where like you hit something like you probably was out of your comfort zone where you're like, I got this, or even whether it's football or anything, CrossFit, was there anything like you went through like, oh man, I didn't think I was able to like overcome this, and then one day it's out of completely nowhere you got it?
Yeah, kind of circling back to the gymnastic stuff. Like I've always been a bigger person. Usually most people that are a little bit bigger struggle with, muscle ups, toes bar, and pull ups, and, just those gymnastics-y movements. A couple of weeks ago, I was able to hit, I think it was 14 bar muscle ups in a row. And for me, that is like a huge thing. I'd never done more than maybe like 5. And it was one of those things. I had the same kind of reaction you did. I was just like, that just happened. Like, wow.
Yeah.
You can tell all the hard work's been paying off. But overcoming, just working and making myself practice those things is kind of my biggest struggle as far as getting better in the sport of CrossFit. But yeah, that would be a moment and kind of movement that I was like, I just did it. Heck yeah.
I think even for me, I think something that's like, I've always been not like, obviously I'm a bigger guy. So like anything running related, cardio related, I'm like, okay, it depends. I have to really like, no way I'm going to run a mile or 800 meters or 400 a year. So, but for me, it feels like when it comes to like benching or something like that, or anything else like that related to that, I'm like, or anything weight, like with the barbell, I'm like, okay, I can probably do this a lot more better than,
I'm the same way with that bench press.
Yeah.
Love the bench press.
When I finally hit 200, I'm like, I finally got that 400. So I just felt like what was being in that community, like people, like you said, there's like 40 new PRs. When you see just someone, the light bulb goes off, not so much light bulb goes off, but when you see that movement come, like, oh yeah, you see that reaction. I'm like, heck yeah, that's pretty cool just to witness it in person, a little less see their reaction, you know, I'm like, this is so dope, you know. But something I want to ask you, kind of go back a little bit about football. Like, because I kind of want to, I know the question pop up when you were talking, but like for you, like why do you believe, like, other than CrossFit, obviously, because we've been talking about CrossFit, like what do you believe that like football is like one of the greatest sports in your opinion?
Man, I'm a big sports guy, kind of regardless of the sport. It's very similar to CrossFit. It's more so relationship and community. Like I have guys that I went to college with for 4 years that I built relationships with, and I'm going to be friends for life. That far as, you know, kind of friendship, relationship side. But as far as football, I think I'm just biased because I grew up day one, started playing football. I do think I watch and have played, like I said, other sports as well. But I am, you know, team football, obviously. College football game days on Saturdays are awesome. You get all day Sunday during the season. I'm a big fantasy guy, you know, so I just love doing those things. I think that I'm just biased towards that sport, but not saying I don't dislike any other sports. That's just kind of what I prefer.
Yeah, most definitely. So did you create, so you said you're in the fantasy, like football and all that stuff, right? So did you create a team this year at all or no?
Yeah, I did. I'm only in actually one league this year, which is weird because the last few years I've been in 3, 4, 5 plus, which gets a little too overwhelming. But I just am in one this year, so I'm able to kind of control that, kind of keep an eye on that a little bit more.
That's cool. So how did you do? Like, did you win in the whole thing, or how'd you do?
We're still, as far as this year, we're on week 5, coming up on week 4 or 5. So I think I'm like 3-1 right now, which is a win. I'll take it. Yeah.
Who's your quarterback?
Lamar Jackson.
Oh, Lamar Jackson. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Speaking of tight ends and stuff like that, who's your tight end or tight ends?
Man, I am a Travis Kelce fan, dude. I know he's kind of everyone loves him. He's just a good athlete. It's fun to watch. He's finally putting Taylor Swift on the map, you know. So it's he's just a good athlete. He just can do it all. It's kind of, used to watch his film, and like the way he ran his route as a bigger guy is just inspiring. I'm like, trying to be like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously fun to watch. It's like watching. It's like effort. Not, I don't know if effortless is the right word, but lack of a better term, it's almost like effortless out there watching him play. Sometimes, you know. It's
it really is. That's like, very true.
It's like watching. It's like magic out there, you know. How he and Patty Mahomes play out that connection, you know. But like, it's just so crazy watching him play. You know, over the last few years, just being able to see him come, you know, him and his brother play. You know, it's always been pretty dope to see that.
Agreed.
Yeah. Are you slowly becoming a Swiftie now?
I have to get the jersey of the 87 and Swiftie on the back.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. I don't know if you're blasting Taylor Swift in the car before her workout or not.
Blaring Taylor Swift at 4 in the morning now, you know.
No, you're not. I was kind of talking about CrossFit a little bit more. So kind of getting into CrossFit fully. You talked about how you got into it and things of that nature, like how you heard about it, all the news, and you did a few workouts and you went to the competition with Rich Froning. Did you, like, back in the early days, did you have any, like when you first started working out, did you have like any like early influencers? Like obviously you talked about Rich Froning, but I'm not sure if he was one. Did you have any influencers or a influencer?
Yeah, I think really seeing Froning and the Mayhem crew kind of at that point in time in action just was like probably the main primary influence. I'm like I've always been competitive, and just seeing that and how they work out, and it just that was kind of he. I was like a huge fan. I was like a diehard fan. I followed him on everything. I watched every single YouTube video. I watched his workout videos when there's no music and he's just in his barn in Tennessee by himself doing workouts. The 30-minute YouTube video, I sat and watched the whole thing. I was just a big fan. I just wanted to be as good as him. Obviously won't, but yeah, I think he was primarily the influence. And then as time has gone on, I've seen and met and talked to other people that are inspiring and make me want to be a better athlete as time goes on. So, but he was kind of like the main thing. That's why we went to that competition, got to see him in action. Super cool dude,
Yeah.
as a person as well. So he does a lot of good things outside of the CrossFit world. So
Yeah, he does. I mean, I remember I got into so when I got one to started doing it's a podcast and you think I should be able to speak, but I can't today. So I remember when I first started at CrossFit 806.
mhm.
So I remember going to back in April, May, maybe like somewhere around there.
Mhm.
And that's when they came to Amarillo for the competition, the event they have every year.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
So I went to that. I was like, oh, that's cool. I mean, Rich Froning is one of the biggest, if not the biggest name, in CrossFit, possibly, arguably, So I'm like,
Mhm.
of course, I want to go see Rich Froning, so him and the
Yeah.
other guys compete. So I went there and saw all you guys compete. Excuse me. Saw you like how you guys compete and got to watch Rich. So I remember getting there. The competition already started that morning. So I remember
Mhm.
like kind of a funny story. So it may have been you. So I remember getting there and I parked, walked up, and like you said, the competition's already started. And so walk up the you're gonna sound like he's gonna laugh how ridiculous this sounds and everybody listening.
Mhm.
So I walk up, right? So I didn't know there's like a way to get up, like a proper way to take the elevator up, I didn't know anything about that.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I just find a flight of stairs and I start walking up them, right? So I find like I get up there and I'm like, oh, it's way at the top. So I walk out these flight of stairs. Second to last flight of stairs, they're the entryway to go into like where I guess there are all the competitors for that. So I'm like,
Mhm.
so I just assume that's where everybody, like all the fans were at, like the waiting area, I
Mhm.
guess some area. So I go ahead and walk up. I'm like, man, what's going on in here? I'm like, one of the guy goes, hey, do you need help with anything? I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to find the door. He's like where the vent is. Like, oh, you have to go up one more flight. The door used to be in there. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Just talking to somebody. I look down. There's a mayhem sign. I'm like, holy crap! I didn't see that until just now. I'm like, okay, I didn't. That's weird. So I opened the door, right?
Yeah.
So I opened the door, and like literally, it's like a movie. I felt like a movie. So people were like running, doing their thing, right? And I forgot what
Mhm.
event it was. So I let them run by. Excuse me. So I run by and I see you, and you're like, "Hey Carter, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, cool. Hey Jaren, how's it going?" And so I kind of walk up to your area. This is my first time doing this. I don't know like what's what. Like I don't know. There's a decorum to this. So I can
Mhm.
walk up to where y'all are at your area, and behind me, literally right like 2 seconds later, I look around, I see Rich running right behind me. Like I should not be here. Like I remember I walked into the wrong door. Like I'm like, there's no way I should be like this close to
Yeah.
Rich running. So I just like I left and
Mhm.
like I walked around. I'm like, there's no way I has to be here right now. Like I'm sorry guys. Like
Yeah.
a 4-time CrossFit like champ, whatever, is like running like 2 feet away from me. Like let me
Yeah.
just leave. So it was
It's
completely
super
awkward.
cool.
Yeah, so I'm like, just from then on, I'm like, heck yeah. I got to meet him later. I'm like, just saying that for me, I'm like, heck yeah. And then being around coaches like you, like y'all, like at the our gym, like that. This is so
Mhm.
cool. Like that's being around y'all. Like y'all are so motivating. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Mhm.
You know?
It's yeah, good time.
Yeah, for sure. I remember you did like how many times have you done like competition?
Man, I've only ever actually done 3 or 4 competitions in my yeah, 4, I think. I did one long time ago, and then I've done 3 this year. And those are the only 4 I've done.
You just wrapped one up this past weekend too. right?
Mhm. Yes,
How'd,
sir.
how'd you do that? Is that your first team of three that you've done?
So I had a team of three back in March. It was either right before or right after that one with Froning, in Lubbock. That was a team of three. And then this one, this past weekend, was my second time doing a team of three.
Oh, really? So are you, do you favor teams more than individual?
Yeah, but actually, the one I did a long time ago in 2018 was individual. I don't really remember a whole lot about it, but I do like the team aspect just because a lot of it, because you sometimes you get a little bit of rest between a few movements.
Yeah.
But I do like the team. If you get a good team, good solid team, you can hold them accountable. You kind of know who's strong at one thing, weaker at another thing, where you kind of help somebody out. Um, so yeah, I do. I enjoy the team aspect of competing.
Oh, really? So,
It's just like football. It's just like football. You got a team with you know what I mean. So it's just how it's always been.
oh, most definitely. I like that. I like that idea. I mean, just I didn't even think about you having that experience, like a team aspect. Like I said,
Yeah.
I wrestled in high school, but I was just more like, won't. I feel like when you're out on the mat, it's just you're by yourself. I like, but you also have a team with
Mhm.
you to back you up. So it's like
Right.
you're not, even though you have
Yeah.
that individual aspect, but you have like your team with you. You're the iron sharpens iron type of mentality. It's like you can only
Mhm.
be as good as you can be, but at the time your team's holding you accountable to
Yep.
without
Totally agree. Yeah.
so
Okay.
what is like when CrossFit, what is your biggest like goal? Like what is like the overall like what do you want to achieve in CrossFit overall?
Man, I just want to feel healthy, look good, and look and be strong. I don't really care to make it to any sort of crazy, cool, big, huge competition as far as competing. I am a coach. That's what I do full time. That with personal training. So I like to see other people succeed as well. Seeing you hit that double under yesterday, that's the thing that keeps me going. Like that happens all the time, and that's kind of what gets me going. Seeing other people succeed, as well as me, throwing my own fitness in there and getting me uh, fitter as a person, as an athlete, is kind of what keeps me going. But as a biggest goal, I just want to keep helping other people in their CrossFit journey. CrossFit's helped thousands and thousands of people across the world, and it's just a huge community thing that brings people together. But yeah, as far as me competing, don't have any huge crazy goals. I'm just going to keep doing these local fun competitions and have fun with it. Obviously, I do want to do good in podium like last week,
Yeah.
just because I'm a competitive person by nature. But as far as the next 6 months to a year, I don't care to be. I will continue to work out really, really hard. It's just no crazy certain goals currently as far as competing, but other than helping other people get to that point.
Oh, sweet. That's pretty dope,
Mhm.
man. So you mentioned like you're coaching and you do lessons and things of that nature. So like what made you want to like you said like you see those expressions, but was that like
Mhm.
what am I trying to ask here? So like was there like a moment for you like, okay man, I want to give coaching a try? Was there any like specific moment or was there like anything that influenced you?
So it was probably started in 2017 through 2018 before I moved. Those 2 years, the first 6 months of it, I was in the gym every single day, 7 days a week, working out. Really didn't have any intention of being a coach. Didn't really know what I wanted to do at all in life at that point. But I think I was just given an opportunity one time to get my L1 certification that allows you to coach a CrossFit class and be present in that gym. And I was like, heck yeah! Like I haven't even thought about that. Like it didn't even cross my mind to be a
Yeah.
coach and to help and teach others. I was like, I think I would be really good at this. I think it'd be super fun, something that I would enjoy. So I went and got the cert, and then from that point, kind of started slowly coaching for the next year and a half, and that's kind of where my journey started. Um, but yeah, I was given and brought that opportunity to become a coach, and I didn't have any intention beforehand, and it just kind of happened. And then after I started doing it, I fell in love with it. It's like, this is fun. I get to see people succeed. I'm getting paid to do it. This is fun. I'm in the space that I enjoy, it's my passion type of deal. So I was like, let's run with it.
Yeah, most you can tell your passion is like 100% into it because it's the way that you coach and anything like that. Like you and other coaches are just like definitely like
Mhm.
110% into it. Like you'll like especially like the way that you coach. Like like not to put like I'm saying like the other coaches at the gym aren't, but like I think just the passion is there 100%. I could see it, but when you were getting your L1, like for people who maybe don't like your L1 certification, people listening to this who don't know, like what's an L1? Like, what is he talking about? Like, can you kind of express a little bit, like in a nutshell, what that is?
Yeah. So CrossFit offers training certifications that allows people to become a coach for a CrossFit affiliate. It starts with CFL1, CrossFit Level 1 trainer. So what that entails is you going to a gym on their website that they're running them all the time, like every weekend as an L1 cert all over the world. So the particular one I went to was in Dallas at CrossFit Strong. Still talk and follow people that I met to that point. But it's a kind of 2-day deal. You go in Friday morning, it's a classroom. I think there was probably 40 people there with us. It's a classroom for an hour, and then you break out into breakout sessions and do trainings. The CL1 trainers that are teaching you there will kind of split you into groups, coach you a little bit, allow you to get the chance to coach. And then you'll break back into the classroom, talk about something, whether that be nutrition, programming, scaling, whatever that is that entails in the L1. It's pretty much just like a big certification course. So it's a Friday, Saturday, and then at the very end, on Saturday, you'll take a written test, and then within 2 or 3 weeks, you'll get an email or a whatever that tells you if you passed or if you didn't pass. And then from that point, you're officially an L1 trainer. And then you coach for a while, and then there's more steps. There's an L2, L3, and an L4. I think L4 is the top one. L4 is like top of the top kind of deal.
Do you have any plans of going up one at all, or no? Or are you like?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be getting my L2 very soon.
Oh heck yeah, that's pretty dope, man. That's pretty exciting.
Yep.
So what are the qualifications?
They also. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, you go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I was just saying, CrossFit also offers like littler courses that you can take online at home. You can also, I think you can do the L1 online. You just watch the videos and take the test. I'm not sure. Maybe that just might have been a COVID thing. They offer, CrossFit Kids, scaling options, judging courses. There's a little CEUs you can get to help as a coach, kind of continue that education and help with your classes and your programming and all that good stuff. There's a CrossFit football. I don't know. I don't have that certification, but I've been looking into it. It's more kind of power and speed and moving quick kind of workout. So there's tons of different certifications you get, but the L1 trainer allows you to be on the floor in an affiliate and run a class. Obviously, once you pass the prereqs. Yeah.
I didn't know there were so many like different things like you do like I didn't know. I thought there was just like the one like the different levels because I know there's different like I've heard about that, but I didn't know there's like they branched off like the different things. I didn't know about that. That's pretty cool.
Yep. And most of those you can do online, like on your computer at home. So the L1, L2, L3, L4, you physically go to the course and get the opportunity to coach and get coached and learn and all that good stuff.
That's dope. I mean, for you, like you're talking about getting your L2, which is a pretty big deal. So congratulations on that, man. So I was gonna say, like, what's for you? Like, I think you may have talked about it. I'm sorry if you did. So like, what are the what are the qualifications for you? Because you talked about like you went to Dallas and you did like a seminar type of thing, like not a seminar, but like you did all these classes and you broke out and different things. But for you, like, do you know anything about this L2 yet?
So L2 kind of takes a turn more so onto, I think you talked about programming a little bit more. So if you were to be programming for your affiliate, it allows you to be more of the coach. So in L1, you're getting coached by the trainers that are there. You're learning the movements. They're telling you how to do them. More so L2, you're the coach. All right. You break into those small sessions and you get to take the group of 10 to 20 people and have them do a certain movement, and you're correcting for them and you're giving cues and you're doing technique stuff. So more so you kind of transition into more of a leadership style role and helping other people rather than getting taught at that point.
Well, that's pretty dope, man. Excuse me. I didn't know. That's pretty cool that you're doing that. Like, are you planning on like programming and stuff like in the future at all?
I do. As far as programming, I program for personal training style stuff. See a lot of high school kids in the summer, lots of strength conditioning that I do my own personal programming with. Our gym, CrossFit 806, does follow CrossFit Mayhem affiliate programming. So as far as that point, I wouldn't worry about now, but it is good to know. I do program for our Legends class, which is the 55 and above class that we have Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
But as far as main CrossFit classes, I don't have any plans to do that in the near future, but coming, down the road, you never know. It might come in handy just to know. And so
that's pretty cool, man. I mean, can I talk about coaching? Because you do a lot of great coaching. Other than just like in the class, you're doing like for our like the quote unquote normal CrossFit classes that we do. I don't want to say quote unquote. I'm sorry. I like the CrossFit classes that we do. Like you do, like you coaching that, but you're also like you're doing one-on-one and things of that nature. Which I kind of want to ask a couple questions before you head out of here. So like, do people that you like coach, they have to like, are they ones that are like wanting to try CrossFit class eventually, or like, I'm going to ask you, are they like looking to try CrossFit
like
class?
you're talking about more of the one-on-one stuff?
Yeah, are that something that they want? Are they trying a CrossFit class first, or are they just coming to you first?
Gotcha. So, couple different parts on that. On one, so what we do is a foundations course, which is a 2-day deal where you meet with me and we go through all the movements. They are interested in doing CrossFit, so I kind of prep them and get them ready, with the verbiage, vocabulary, and all the different movements that we use. That way, they're not just thrown into kind of a what in the world's going on. That point, yes, they are all the CrossFit, and they usually only meet with me 2 times, and then from that point, they're kind of into the class. And then as far as personal trainings go, I do have a few clients, and what they do, I would say about 60 to 70% of them are already members in the gym that are wanting to get better at ring muscle ups, wanting to get better at toes to the bar, wanting to get better at squat snatch. So they're already in members of the gym that do the CrossFit classes. They just want to get a little bit extra work outside of class, kind of with a one-on-one eye. And then about 30-ish%, I have people that aren't members of the gym that come in and do more so of a kind of general fitness programming. We're doing on Mondays, we're doing kind of a more of an upper body day. Wednesdays, we're doing a lower body day with some legs and some echo bike. And so not necessarily CrossFit personal training, but we do incorporate elevating the heart rate at some point during the class or during the session. But they're not currently members of the CrossFit. They just kind of want to stray away from that when they get that more one-on-one feel. So I do it all.
Sounds like you got like all the CrossFit stuff going on your plate right now. Sounds pretty fun though. I mean, you're doing a lot of great things. Whenever when do you normally coach like lessons, like one-on-one lessons, or like you said, like helping people, not so much like just lessons, but like you said, if someone's already a member of the gym or someone's brand new to the gym and they just want to try just do one-on-one lessons, not so much be part of a class, but when are you normally coaching that? Like, is it like every day of the week or every week?
So usually, like a Monday through Friday, I have a bunch of people that are kind of set throughout the week. So like, for example, today I had this afternoon, like a 5, a 5:30 and a 6 or somewhere around those lines. And that they see me every Tuesday at those times. It kind of just depends on my schedule. Most days I'm up there, or 3 days a week, I'm up there really early. So I get up and coach the 5 a.m. class, 6 a.m. class. And then from 7 to 9, there's no classes. So from 7 to 9, I'm usually seeing someone at 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30. Really, they come to me. We kind of find a time that works with mine and their schedules. And from that point, we just kind of figure out scheduling and what days of the week works best. Most people that, they'll sign up for at least once a week, and we'll kind of book that scheduled time. So like Mondays at 8:30, that's when I'm going to see you every single week. We'll stick with that for a while. After maybe a month, we can kind of reevaluate and see if they want to add a class or add a session, take one away, change the time. But I'm up there quite a bit throughout the day. So Monday through Friday. So
heck yeah.
And then usually about every other Saturday in the mornings from about 7 before the class starts at 10, that time as well.
Oh, wow. I mean, you're doing it all. It sounds like you're the coach for the gym. It sounds like pretty much.
Yeah. Got a good team with me.
For sure.
Help me out.
How can people, like if they were new people wanting to join the gym, they just want to do lessons, things of that nature,
Mhm.
like how can they reach you or reach out to you and ask?
So we do a lot of social media stuff. So our Instagram, you can follow, message us there. On our website, you can schedule a no sweat intro, which is you book a time that's on your schedule. You can come in, talk to myself, talk to Kyle, or whoever it is that's going to meet you that day. And from that point, we kind of assess and see what you're looking for, what your goals are. From that point, maybe throw you into foundations, into the CrossFit, or maybe a foundations, more of a one-on-one twice a week, kind of just depending on you, or them, their goals, and what they're wanting to get done with coming into the gym.
Wow.
Yeah, or
That's pretty
just
cool.
walk in. I'm usually there, and we'll chat and we'll figure it out. So I've had that happen a lot. So we got them signed up. So
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
yeah.
Well, we feel like we talked about it a lot, man. Well, thank you for your time. But one quick question, I still thought about this before I head out. Talking about on the CrossFit
Yeah, for
topic,
sure.
and we'll head out here. So I was gonna ask, quick, I guess guest Mason, guess I'm not sure what the word is, but I know it's a long ways away because the big news that CrossFit Games is moving to Fort Worth this next coming year. I was gonna ask, who's your prediction? Do you have any predictions so far? I mean, as of right now, who you want to win?
Man, so dude, got to travel to Tennessee in June, sometime in the summer, and I got to go to Mayhem actually. And I got to meet and chat with Roman.
Oh
And
yeah,
from that point, dude, I was like, come on, man, let's win this thing. And I think he probably would have if he wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Yeah.
So he was my prediction for a winner. Jeff Adler, killed it. He's a phenomenal athlete as well.
Yeah.
But I'm really pulling for Roman. I think he can do it next year. And as far as the female side, I'm a big Mallow Bryant
Yeah.
fan. I use her gym playlist as my playlist sometimes. She had some life stuff going on, so she backed out. But I was really pulling for her for first. So Roman and Mal were kind of my two that I was rooting for. It was close, and then Mal kind of backed out, and then Roman got hurt. So next year I'll probably reevaluate, but probably it'll be pretty close to that pick as well. Roman and Mal, or I don't even know. I can't think of any female side that was. I don't know. That's probably who I'll predict. And I'm going to be there. I'm already planning on making the trip down there.
Yeah, I was already talking to my brother Brandon about it. You know my brother, but the people who may not like really listening. But my brother is a coach there, or coach also at the gym. But he and I always talk about like the stuff too. I'm like, I wonder who's going to win next year. Like we want to go, but we want to go. I'm like, I keep telling Brandon, I'm like, Brandon, I want to go. We want to go. Like it sounds like a little kid. Let's go. I mean, if there's a chance, if they're going to Fort Worth, I mean, why not go? I mean, like,
why not? Yeah.
Like if it's this close,
drive.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not like it's in, Carson, California or Madison or anything like that.
Wisconsin,
It's like here in Texas. It's like literally like an easy drive away.
Yeah, gotta go. Have to.
Most definitely. Well, Jaren, thank you so much for your time, man.
For sure,
it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun talking to you, and honor talking to you. So, can't wait to obviously see you a lot more coaching this week and anything like that. But thank you for your time.
Yep. For sure, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything else you want to maybe add or anything like that before you head out or not?
Come see me, CrossFit 806. We'll get your fitness journey started. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, so thank you, Jaren. And he said thank you to everybody listening, tuning in, and have a great rest of the weekend. Great rest of your day. So thank y'all. See y'all.
Yeah.